Everyone, and welcome to day 4 of WordPress for Designers on themeforest.net. Today we're going to pick up right where we left off on day 3 and continue with our blank WordPress theme. We're going to focus on working with the WordPress Loop today and actually pulling out and displaying some content from our WordPress database. So we're going to learn some pretty cool stuff today and how to actually get our content to start showing up and organizing it in the way that we want to. And we're also going to look at a few more template tags that we didn't look at yesterday and use them to help us build our theme. So I always like, oh, and also I'm on a new mic, so the audio should be better than it was yesterday, but if you're having any issues with it, be sure just to let me know, and I'll do my best to fix it as soon as I can. So getting started, I always like to have a nice inspirational wallpaper set up like the one right now. So if that's something that helps you or gets you motivated, like maybe just like a cool like rainbow gradient would work nicely. Something that whatever works for you. Um, so that said, let's go ahead and pick up where we left off and open up Firefox. And you'll remember in day 3 that this is what we left off at, and we didn't have any content displaying yet, but we were using some WordPress template tags to display the title of our blog, and we mainly focused on the WordPress template tags and how they work. So the first thing is go ahead and go to here in just a little bit. So if you don't know how to do that, you go under Posts, you click Add New, and you just add the title of your post and any HTML and post content in here. I just like to use filler content. I'll give you an example. If I go to Edit, and you'll see my content here. And one thing I want to point out is, so there are other ways to do this in WordPress, but this is the easiest, and in this way gives me the most control because I can decide when my content cuts off. So I generally just like to do a paragraph introduction, then use the HTML comment with more in between, and WordPress will automatically add the read more link, which we'll get into when we're working with the loop here. So go ahead and add some filler content. Doesn't need to be much, just something that we can file that we were working with in day 3. And just to recap, you'll remember that we use the blog info template tag a lot to display a lot of our information about our blog, as well as the language attributes. Um, we're just going to focus on writing the markup that's going to pull out the content from our database. So I like to start with a div ID of wrap and wrap everything in that, and it gives me more control and allows me to set widths and center things with margins and so on. So go ahead and give it a div ID of wrap, and the first thing we'll need is our header, or the name of our blog and at least the description. So I'm going to try to keep this as organized as I can by using some comments, and we'll just say begin header. our style.css. I gave our wrap a width of 960, and then our div ID of header, I just aligned it to the center for now. But we're not gonna worry about how it looks at this point. So next we need our tagline or our description. So we'll give it a div class of tagline. And all we have to do here is PHP. We're going to use the blog info again. And we'll say description. Oops. Yep. PHP blog info description. And that is going to get our tagline or the description that we have set in our general settings for our blog. So we'll save that. And we'll go over to Firefox again and we'll refresh. And you can see we have a WordPress video series by themeforest.net, which is our blog's description. So far, so good. End content. Maybe main content would be a better description, but it's okay. And we are going to start, as I said, the WordPress loop. So the WordPress loop is the PHP code and functions that actually grab any post we specify from our database and display it. So the first thing we need to do is PHP if, and any if statements always go inside parentheses, if have posts colon, and we'll close our PHP statement. So now we're saying we're using a conditional statement saying if we have any posts to display. PHP while, which is a while loop, also goes in between parentheses. While we have posts, tag, and we'll do PHP the permalink and close the quote, and we'll do title, and we'll just say permanent link to, and again we'll use PHP the title attribute. And that will display the title in between our title tags there. Now we need to close the anchor tag. And lastly, what we want to do is display the actual title in between the anchor tag. So the title. And now we can close our anchor, and our h2 tag is class of post snippet, just so we can separate each post a little more. We'll just do a border of 2 pixels solid, CCC. We'll go ahead and give it a margin, some margins on the top and bottom of about 40 pixels. A little bit of padding, and what else should we? Individual posts are now showing up. So that is the pure basics of the WordPress loop. Is just if have posts, then we run it through a while we have post, and we display the content. Now, one thing that we want to do and that we'll notice is this little more doesn't look too great. I mean, we want to change that. How do we change what that says? Well, you'll remember when we went over WordPress template tags that most template tags can be passed parameters. So for the content, well, let's call it instead. Let's say continue reading. ... We'll save that, and we'll pass it the parameter of continue reading for the text that we want it to display. We refresh, and we'll see that it shows up just as we would expect it to. So that is how we get the custom text there for the more tag that we discussed earlier. So now we can see how the basics of the WordPress loop work. Let's go ahead and add our footer, and we'll come back to the loop and do a few more things after this. So begin footer, end footer. Okay, and we'll go ahead and give it a div ID. I'm going to indent here. Div ID of footer. Alright, now in our footer, all we really want to, we don't want to display too much. Maybe a link to our RSS feeds, and then again, blog info. This time we will do comments, RSS to URL. Once again, we will close that and write comments, RSS, and close our anchor tag. Okay, let's save that, open up Firefox, see if our footer is showing up. Great. Testing WordPress Forest, which is our name right now of our theme, is proudly powered by WordPress. Well, if you're familiar with PHP, we can use an else statement after our if statement. So after while, we'll write PHP else space colon, and then we don't have a search form to include for now, which would be nice, but we'll just write sorry, but sorry, but we could not find what you were looking for. And let's give them some encouragement. But don't give up. We have our posts being displayed, and then end while, and then else, if we don't have any posts, display sorry, but we could not find posts link. Okay, we can pass it the parameters of what we would like it to say. So we'll just say, previous entries. Just something real generic for now. And then right after that, just to demonstrate this, we'll just do the same thing, but next posts link. Again, we'll pass it the parameters of older entries. And that will be it. So we'll save it, and it blog pages show most at, and it says 10 posts right now. Well, it knows we're showing all of our posts, so there's no newer or older entries to view. So just so we can see if that worked, we know we have 3 posts, so let's only show 2 of the latest posts on our home page just to see if that's worked. So we'll come back and we'll refresh. That is how the previous post link and next post links tags can be used, and you can get a lot more creative and fun with those, and how they're worded, and pagination, and all kinds of cool stuff. But that is what we will focus on for today, is just the basic WordPress loop. It's not really as difficult as some people make it sound, and there's a lot of stuff we can do with the WordPress loop, and customizing it and pulling stuff from certain categories. Let's go ahead and remember to set our blog post back to 10 so that doesn't stump us or stump me later. And we'll refresh. Okay, and that's where we're going to leave off for today. We're still not going to worry about how the design looks for now. We're going to get to that though in a few series from now. We haven't worked on pages or categories or the sidebar much recently, and all of that is coming up very shortly. So stay tuned for day 5 of WordPress for Designers, and we encourage you to subscribe to the RSS feed if you're enjoying this series. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day.